Welcome to Binge Buddies. This week, probably not really Alice in Zombieland, but we'll still say it's Alice in Zombieland for our artwork's sake. Hi, I'm your host, as always, Brian Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt Zombie Dog Dykes.
I don't have a talking dog.
I mean, I did warn you that just might be your nickname throughout the rest of Binge Buddies, right?
Yeah, I was hoping that was a joke.
No, I really like it. It seems like a solid nickname for you. And the more you kind of push back against it, the more it's like, well, no, then that's what it is.
So do I need now to brain? Got no excuse for that as well, because it's like 5:30 in the evening. No excuse for that one.
Not recording at 4 a.m. for you.
Yeah. No, so do I now need to change my Twitter handle to Zombie Dog?
We'll see if it catches on. If it does, then that'll be up to you.
Yeah, I'll see if it's available.
So, unfortunately, this was supposed to be the big finale to Alice in Zombieland, where we're going to do our big rankings episode that we like to do at the end of seasons, and scheduling has turned out to be a motherfucker. We are now 4 people in 4 different time zones, which is fun, and it has made scheduling quite a chore. And we thought we had 3 out of 4 available for today, and then Graham unfortunately had to drop out, but we were already kind of planning on him dropping out. Maybe not dropping out, but we're planning on the episode crumbling is kind of more of where I was at. So I didn't know if it was gonna be Matt because whatever reason, or Graham because whatever reason, or me because whatever reason, but I still kind of had a bad feeling about today. So we decided to just do a little housekeeping episode instead. And we're going to let you know what's going on with that finale. We're going to let you know what's coming up next on Binge Buddies. And then we're going to kind of just give you some recommendations. Yeah, that sounds good to you, right, Matt? That's what we were talking about before.
Sounds great to me.
Cool.
Yeah. I will never drop out of these, by the way. I'm already planning on, when I actually move house and won't have internet for a while, I'm already planning on how I'll still record.
Well, that's great. So at least we'll always have 2 of us.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can get all 4 of us together and record the finale, because it's always better when you get the whole crew there. I know that hasn't worked in the past. Unfortunately, Nick wasn't able to join for the End Adventure Bros. These things sort of happen, and that's fine. But we're going to try to get all 4 of us back and finally record this finale, hopefully later this week. We still haven't heard back from Joel's availability, so it might just be 3 of us, or it might not be happening at all. In which case it'll be another few weeks down the road. And if that does happen, Matt and I will reconvene, and we'll do a nice little episode in between, like we did with V, or we'll do something similar to that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, maybe we'll, I mean, we're already going to be covering it over at BTH, but maybe we'll watch the Snyder Cut together, and we'll talk about the Snyder Cut, because it's now my favorite superhero movie. Well, with the exception of Superman. Nothing can ever replace Christopher Reeve's Superman, but Snyder Cut is pretty fucking good. But otherwise, is there anything else we need to mention about the finale? Just, we're going to do our best. We're going to try to get it done here as soon as we can. We're going to try to get all 4 of us on. Might be 3 of us, but it is coming. We haven't forgotten you yet.
I can't think of anything really, other than that's the problem with 4 different time zones now. I mean, it was bad enough when it was 2 time zones, and now we've doubled that.
Yeah, then we had to go and throw Joel in the mix, and he's in a different time zone, and then Graham had to fucking move to a different time zone. Like, come on, guys.
Thanks, Graham. Jesus.
Your priorities should be the podcast I don't pay you for.
Yeah. That's what my priorities are.
Thanks, Matt. At least we have one team player.
I just don't have a life. Yeah.
Yeah, the second you start doing anything real with your life, it's just going to be me alone with a microphone talking about shows I like.
Just crying into the microphone. And then I'd watch this. I used to have friends.
Doom Patrol's a really good show. It is a really good show.
It is a good show, to be fair.
All right, so let's kind of move into what's coming up next. So after we finally get this episode recorded, be it later this week, next week, the week after, we will then probably take maybe a little short break. I usually like to take breaks between seasons, but this one we're kind of accidentally taking a break at the same time, so I'm not sure if there will be or not. It'll be a very short break if we do take a break, like maybe a week or 2. And then we're going to start. I don't have an official title for it yet, but I have been enjoying throwing around this title. It's called Who, What, When, Where, and Why We Do in the Shadows. Can you guess what show that is?
It's Doctor Who, right?
Yeah, definitely not Doctor Who. We don't. That podcast would just last forever. No, I thought What We Do in the Shadows would be a really fun show for us to dive into. We're going to start with the movie because that's the very good place to start. And then we're going to jump into the FX show. Not the CW, HBO Max, New Zealand, UK spin-off show that was just announced here, but apparently has been running for like 3 years in New Zealand. That show sounds awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing it when it comes out. I know nothing about it beyond that. So we're going to talk about the FX show, the one with Matt Berry, and that's the only cast member I can name off the top of my head. But there's a whole bunch of people in it, and it is the most perfect follow-up to a movie as a TV show I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot of these. I've watched Fargo. I've watched wow, I can come up with one example. But I've watched a lot of these movie to TV shows, and most of them are like, it's fine. I get what they're doing. That's about the end of where I'm going to go with it. What We Do in the Shadows is very different, and it just works. And I'm so excited to dive in it, especially with this group of people. I think we're all going to have a really, really fun time with it. And Matt, you've only seen the movie, correct?
I have only seen the movie, yeah, so far. I'll be doing a bit of the old, what we did for Frisky Dingo on this one, watching as we go instead of just watching ahead. So yeah, it'll be all fresh to me.
Yeah, and it's not like Frisky Dingo or even Venture Brothers, or even Resident Evil for that matter, where like there's a really good over arc story. Like you really got to pay attention. This one's much more episodic. It's not done yet. There's either season 3 is coming out soon or sometime in 2021. I'm not sure when. So we're just gonna do the seasons that are available, and it's just kind of like it'll be nice for us just to kind of have something kind of fun, funny and enjoyable to sink our teeth in, as opposed to, I mean, Resident Evil is a version of that too, but kind of go back to TV and get the same sort of vibe. Whereas I felt like Frisky Dingo and Venture Brothers, like we really had to track what was going on, what was said, and where it was leading, and that is not going to be the case for the next one. The next one should just be solid, 26 episodes of just like party and fun, and that's really what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And it is just one of those gut-busting, laughing shows. One of those things where it's like you get these little nuggets of an idea in like the pilot, which I actually have a friend who worked on the pilot. Maybe we'll try to get her to say something. But you get these kind of like little like, oh, that could be fun, like an energy vampire. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with an energy vampire. And then by the point where you see where Colin goes, it's like he's one of the funniest things in the show. Like what a ridiculous concept for a vampire. So I'm really excited for it, and I hope you guys are too, because it's going to be a lot of fun. That title might change. I've read that title by a few people, and I usually get, that's funny. You shouldn't name your show that. But I've also gotten that for almost every title I've ever come up with. I like long, ridiculous titles. It's kind of my thing. So it might stay Who, What, When, Where, and Why We Do in the Shadows. We'll see.
Why not Who, What, Why, When, Where We Podcast in the Shadows?
Oh, God. That's somehow both better and worse. It might just turn into that. It'll just stay ridiculous. And then we'll talk to John, who does our art for us, which is always amazing. Good work, John, as always. And he'll just be like, fuck you. I'm not putting all those words in a show.
I think he'll just be like, I'll just do the initials.
It'll just be a shitload of W's, and then We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. www.wedointheshadows.
Yeah, we'll just rip off the Wonder Woman 1984 poster where she's like got the golden armor and all the W's are behind her in a rainbow, and that'll just be us.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah, it's going to look great. John, I'm sure will have no problem doing that for us.
Until he gets a cease and desist.
Yeah, that is quickly coming. I think they're writing up a draft now.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
So now with that out of the way, out of the way is a rude way to say it. I'm very excited for it. But now with that done, we're going to move into the next segment, which Matt and I watch a lot of TV shows that we don't really have time to podcast about. I know that seems crazy with how much he and I both podcast, but there's still a lot of stuff out there, and I thought it'd be kind of a fun time to just take a minute and recommend shows. The way that I wanted to do this recommend shows is very much in the spirit of Binge Buddies, and that is I'm going to recommend a show to you that is, at least in my opinion, good from beginning to end. Which means like shows like Lost, unfortunately, might be like one of my favorite shows of all time. Really hard to recommend for a beginning to end. Because you have to really be into it to really enjoy that end. And if you're not, it's going to buck you.
Yeah, kind of like how I gave up after season 2. I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck that show.
I love Lost, and I love where it goes, but it's not like I can sit here and scream till I'm blue in the face about why people are wrong about the Snyder Cut, and it's okay just to say movies are good. You don't have to be like, I guess it's fine. It's a good movie. You can just say that. With Lost, I'm like, no, I like it. Are you saying it's good? No, I'm saying I like it.
I like it. Move on.
Yeah, like we're gonna stop there. I'm good with it. So in the spirit of that, Matt, you had one to go right out of the gate, right? Let's take turns. I think I have two, and I think you have two, so we'll go back and forth.
Oh, I have more than two if there's time.
Well, we're gonna try to keep this short, so let's keep it to our top two.
So like we could keep it short to like 2 hours then, so I can do like my 10 that I have loaded.
I'm gonna stop recording now.
Oh darn it. Well, yeah. So first one I will go with is Bosch. I have mentioned it God knows how many times before. I've written an article about why people should watch Bosch, and people are still watching it every now and again, but there's still a lot of people who aren't watching it. I don't know why. It's fucking brilliant. You should go watch it. It's a crime drama series, so it's a little bit more serious than the stuff that we usually cover on here, but it does have those moments of levity within it as well, especially between the two sort of like detective characters. So there is that sort of almost like a buddy cop sort of sensibility to it in areas, and there's just I just love it. I think the way it's written is really, really well done. It's like the characters are brilliant. The acting I think is superb, and there's just the chemistry between everyone. It just works. It's one of those rare shows where I watch it and you are completely sucked in by just how well these characters gel together. And like, even if it's a confrontational or antagonistic relationship, the chemistry is still perfect. And it's brilliant. It's one of the reasons why Amazon is my preferred streaming service of all the ones, because, it's my favorite in production TV series. There's 6 seasons of it out at the moment. I believe they've finished shooting the 7th, and they're just in post-production on it at the moment. The 7th is going to be the last on Amazon, but it already has been picked up for a spin-off, in quotation marks, on IMDb TV, which I'm guessing is a new thing. But it's the original cast, the majority of the original cast anyway, returning for that as well. So I'm looking forward to what that is. And I'm
whatever the fuck IMDb TV is.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so cool that it's been picked up. It's continuing. But what the hell is IMDb TV? And how much will it cost me?
Yeah, that's like coming to YouTube Red.
Yeah. But yeah, I cannot recommend it highly enough, to be honest. I've recommended it to people so many times, and the ones who bother to actually listen to me and watch it always love it.
I feel like that's a dig at me.
Yeah, it is. It's a dig at you. There was, I recommended it to my mum. She watched 5 minutes of the first episode. Like, I don't think it's for me. It's like you haven't even watched it. The story hasn't even started. The first 5 minutes is kind of like a little bit of a preamble thing. You haven't watched. Oh, you know what? Forget it. Forget it, Mum.
That's like my 2-year-old son with like a pasta. Here, eat this pasta. He looks at it. I don't like this pasta. Eat it. Just fucking eat it.
But yeah, can't recommend it enough, to be honest. It's got that real detective aspect to it as well, and it feels very Michael Mann as well, like in the terms of the style as well. It's got that. It's very well shot. Yeah. Stop me now, because I'll keep going. Okay,
I'll jump in. I'll change course a little bit, and we're gonna go animated. And this show technically does have a season 3 coming. But given where seasons 1 and 2 went, I imagine that it will still. I'm really taking a gamble here, but I'm guessing it will still hold my recommend the whole show qualification. And the main reason why I still think it works is because if we never got a season 3, the show's over at the end of season 2. Like, they planned for 2 seasons, and then it ended. And then they got a season 3, which is great, and I'm looking forward to more. But if we never got it, it still was a very self-contained thing. So I still think it technically qualifies. I'm talking about Harley Quinn. If you have any way to watch Harley Quinn, either you have HBO Max or if you have to rent it or whatever, this is I have never been so impressed by like an animated show outside of like Venture Brothers. Like that's the quality that I'm talking about here. Like it's that tightly written. The characters are that well developed. It's that much fun of a world. And you would think like, well, yeah, I know the world. I know DC Comics. It's like, this is not normal DC Comics. This is Harley Quinn's idea of DC Comics. And that's very important to wrap your head around as you start watching the show. And characters like Clayface and King Shark, the Joker of all things, wildly different than characters that you might have known them before. Jim Gordon is like the saddest, most lonely man who befriends Clayface's severed hand for an episode, and they become real buddies. Like, the show is just, it's weird, it's out there, it's crazy violent, but it's just also surprisingly heartwarming, and like really has something to say about not taking significant others for granted, and knowing like when you're in a toxic relationship, and maybe not knowing when you're creating another toxic relationship who's just trying to help you. Like, there's real story and things to grab onto inside of this insane show, like just completely bananas show. I can't recommend it highly enough, especially if you never even go to season 3. If you just want to watch the self-contained story of how Harley goes from Joker's girlfriend to her own person, that alone in those first 2 seasons is done so well. It's beautiful. It's so good, and just gut-bustingly hilarious the whole way through.
I mean, you've talked about this before, and it is something I'm definitely going to check out. But the way you were describing it then, you could have been describing Venture Brothers.
The whole time I was watching the show, I kept going like, this reminds me of Venture Brothers, which is saying something. Because, I mean, that's how Binge Buddies even came about, was out of our joined love of Venture Brothers and how much that show means to me.
Yeah.
So especially with the future of Venture Brothers very much in question and leaning towards done, it's really nice to have something else scratch that itch. And Harley Quinn does it better than anyone else.
I am definitely going to check that out then.
What's your next show?
My next show is something a little bit more sci-fi. And when I say a little bit more sci-fi, I mean a lot more sci-fi, and what I refer to as hard sci-fi as well. The Expanse. It's another Amazon series. It's just incredible. I mean, you look at Star Trek and, you know, series like that where you think, oh, that's sci-fi. Yeah. This series, The Expanse, takes sci-fi in the most realistic way I've ever seen them deal with like anything. Like this is the most realistic science fiction series I've ever seen, and I watch a lot of sci-fi series. It deals, like, the physics of space travel are really important, like to the point where, you know, you have episodes where the ship is accelerating and shit is flying around because it's not been securely locked down properly, and there's just crap flying all over inside the ship when they make a hard turn. There is, you know, consequences of, you know, traveling so fast that you are getting, you know, you're going to have a stroke and die. There is ridiculous. Like, there is a very graphic depiction of what happens when you go from traveling at God knows how many G's to nothing immediately. I mean, it's gory as hell, is that scene.
I mean, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Do their eyes get all wibbly wobbly? Like, that's about it, right?
No, we're talking like I'm trying to, like, just the way of describing it.
I got it. No, I've seen
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm right there. I can picture it perfectly.
But yeah, it's one of those series that it does start off a bit slow. So, because it's building up a lot. It's building up an entire universe that you have to play around in. But it's not one of these series that sort of hand feeds you a lot. It just kind of goes, right, you're in this. This is it. This is the world you're in. Catch up. And it treats the audience like an adult, because it doesn't hand feed you everything. It's done, like, you know, you don't have like a line every 5 seconds like describing, like, oh, well, this is because of this, this, and this, and oh, you remember that time there? You know, it's just sort of like, you know, people refer to things that happened, and you just pick up bits of it from, like, the way that it's inferred. It's not like, you know, like standard expositional dialogue where you're getting told the entire back history of everything. You pick things up as you go through the series. And because of that, the first few episodes do tend to seem a little bit slow and a little bit like, I don't know what's going on here. but eventually everything does sort of click into place. I mean, for me, like the first episode had me sort of like, it had me gripped because I was really interested in this world that they were building. But whenever I recommend this to anyone, I tell them they're not allowed to give up on the series until they've heard the term donkey balls. If you're not on board at that point, you're probably not going to like it. But if you do start watching it, don't give up until you hear donkey balls.
That's fair.
I think John's been watching it.
John's obsessed with it. He's also reading the books now too. Like John really fell into The Expanse hard, and I've heard that from everyone who's done it. So it's one of those shows where I've been tentative to dive into it because I don't know how much time I have, and if I fall in love with it, it's just gonna be like, well, fuck, this is all I have to do now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to play Final Fantasy X again. That's a 130-hour game. God damn it. That sounds very interesting. But in the effort of trying to keep this thing as short as possible, I'm just going to cut you off and dive into my last recommendation, which I had to change gears because originally it was going to be Legends of Tomorrow, and then I remembered that the first season sucks. So that one no longer hits my qualification. And I'm going to dial things way, way back to a show that you might have missed. And if you did miss it, you need to go back to, and you need to give it a shot because it is it's just a beautiful human story is the best way I can describe it. I'm talking about 6 Feet Under. If you never actually gave 6 Feet Under a shot, if you was one of those things like, yeah, I know it's good. I heard the Arcade Fire song from the end. Like, yeah, I know it's good. I should get around to it at some point. No, just do it. It's one of those shows where the acting is so good, the story is so good, the set design, the plot pieces, the way characters interact with each other. It's one of those rare shows where it's like, you guys were like fucking Michael Jordan in the 90s. Like, you could do no wrong. Like, you never missed. And it's every choice they had seemed like the right choice. You might hate characters for a little while. You might grow back to like them after a while. And it's almost like a soap opera, but never quite go full melodrama. It's just a beautiful show. And then it ends very, very well. Some people argue one of the best finales of all time. I'm not in that camp personally, but it is a very good finale, and it ends very well. The show doesn't really have a bad episode or bad season, so it's one of those ones where, like, when you sit down to watch it, you're gonna be like, oh wow, this is fantastic beginning to end. And it is. You should absolutely watch it.
Sounds
weird that
good.
both my recommendations come from HBO. I don't work for HBO.
Well, it's weird both my recommendations come from Amazon, and I definitely don't work for Amazon.
Well, I was gonna have one from the CW, but they really fucked up that first season. It's such a shame because the rest of the show is great, but yeah, I've tried telling people just to jump into season 2, and everyone who hasn't enjoyed it. So I think you need season 1 to get into it, and unfortunately, season 1 is 22 hours of. So that one doesn't hit the list. All right, so that's I think that's kind of it, isn't it? That's pretty much all we're going to recommend today. I mean, we could keep going.
I mean,
for another half
I
hour,
could
I'm
keep
sure.
going for ages.
Yeah, I mean, because then we could open up to comic books, and I can talk comic books forever. And like, do you want the whole series of comic books to recommend? I got you. How about video games? I don't recommend Final Fantasy X because you're just going to lose 130 hours of your life. Don't do it. But if you do, it's great. It's so good, but don't do it.
Do it, but don't.
Yeah, don't. But if you do, you're going to have a great time. Okay, so I think we're going to call it a day there. I don't know when we'll be back. I'm hoping to be back next Monday, with some sort of an episode, either be it the finale to Alice in Zombieland, or maybe Matt and I will be talking about something we recommend. Either way, we're hopefully going to have an episode next Monday. It might be another week in between. And then after we get the finale done, maybe a week or so break, and then we're going to get back into weekly episodes with Who, What, When, Where, Why. And it's all good stuff. I'm excited.
I fucking love that title.
I do too, right? It's a good one.
I'm on a podcast. It's called Who, What, When, Where, Why.
And that's I'm just going to keep calling it that because I can say it pretty fast. Who, what, when, where, why. And hopefully everyone else will get there.
I get there by the end of, like, when we're actually finished. When we finish with it, I'm like, damn it.
The final episode. I got it. Perfect. Okay, thank you everyone so much for listening to our tiny little housekeeping episode. We will see you hopefully next week with more real episodes, and if not, the week after. Bye!
See you later.